Nestled high in the Colorado Rockies, the Stanley Hotel stands as a beacon of beauty and luxury. Its grand facade and sweeping views of Estes Park paint a picture of tranquility, but beneath its polished exterior lies a darker tale. This story begins over a century ago, in 1909, when Freeland Oscar Stanley built the hotel as a retreat for wealthy travelers seeking solace in the crisp mountain air. Yet from the beginning, the Stanleys seemed to hold secrets that would not remain silent. Whispers of unexplained events circulated almost immediately. Guests would wake to hear footsteps pacing the halls outside their rooms, only to find them empty. Others spoke of voices echoing through the corridors, soft and indistinct. It was as though carrying on conversations from another time. Some dismissed these incidents as the quirks of an old building, but for those who experienced them, the feeling of being watched, of something unseen lurking just out of sight, was undeniable. One room, in particular, has drawn more than its share of attention, room 217. In 1911, a housekeeper named Elizabeth Wilson was tasked with lighting the lanterns after a storm knocked out the hotel's power. When she entered the room, a gas leak ignited, resulting in an explosion that destroyed part of the second floor. Miraculously, Elizabeth survived, though she suffered serious injuries. Her physical presence may have left the room, but her spirit, it seems, did not. Guests who stay in room 217 often report strange occurrences: unpacked luggage, neatly folded clothes they didn't touch, and an icy sensation. It feels as though someone is brushing past them. Some have even claimed to see the faint outline of an elderly woman standing silently in the corner of the room, her gaze fixed on them. Years later, in 1974, the Stanley Hotel would gain even more notoriety when Stephen King and his wife Tabitha spent a single night there. They were the only guests in the vast empty hotel during the off-season. That night, King had a vivid nightmare. In it, his young son was being chased through the hallways by a sinister fire hose, writhing like a snake. The dream jolted him awake, and he sat up, shaken and inspired. By morning, the framework for The Shining was already forming in his mind. King would later describe the Stanley Hotel as a place of beauty, but with an unsettling undercurrent, as though the walls themselves were watching. The hotel's eerie reputation doesn't end with room 217 or King's famous visit. In the music room, where Flora Stanley once played the piano, the faint sound of music is often heard late at night. Guests and staff alike have reported the piano keys moving on their own, as though an invisible hand is continuing Flora's melodies. On one occasion, a staff member cleaning the room heard a single, deliberate note ring out. She turned to see the piano's keys depress on their own. Overcome with fear, she fled the room, refusing to return alone. The grand staircase, a centerpiece of the hotel, carries its own mysteries. Many visitors have described a strange sensation while climbing it, as though unseen eyes are watching their every step. Shadows flicker across the walls without any apparent source. A recurring apparition, a man dressed in a bowler hat and early 20th century clothing, is often seen standing at the top of the stairs. He doesn't move or speak, he simply stares, his presence suffused with an unshakable sense of dread. Those who encounter him report an overwhelming need to look away, as if his gaze holds a warning they cannot understand. The fourth floor, once used as the servants' quarters, is perhaps the most active area of the hotel. Guests frequently hear the laughter and footsteps of children running through the halls, though no children are present. Room 401, in particular, has become infamous. Visitors have reported waking to find their blankets pulled off the bed or their names whispered in the dark. Some have felt an icy touch on their faces, as though someone or something was standing over them. Paranormal investigators have captured chilling evidence here, from sudden temperature drops to disembodied voices caught on tape. And then there is the basement, a place many employees refuse to enter alone. The air there feels heavy, oppressive, as if the very walls are holding something back. Shadowy figures have been seen darting through the dimly lit space, and the sound of footsteps echoes where no one walks. One particularly malevolent presence, known as the Watcher, is said to linger there. Those who encounter it describe an intense feeling of being followed, accompanied by guttural growls and faint, mocking laughter. The basement is a place of fear, even for those who do not believe in ghosts. The Stanley Hotel has drawn countless visitors over the years, some seeking its luxury, others its ghosts. While skeptics argue that the stories are exaggerated or fabricated, the experiences of guests, staff, and even paranormal investigators paint a chilling picture. What truly happened within the walls of the Stanley Hotel? Was it merely the power of suggestion, the natural creaks and groans of an old building? Or is there something more, something waiting in the shadows to reveal itself to the unsuspecting? Whatever the answer, the Stanley Hotel continues to hold its secrets close, leaving us with more questions than answers. Its beauty is undeniable, but so too is its haunting presence. For those who visit, the question lingers: will you leave with only memories or something far darker?